Tonight on CTV.
Election day is over and the results are in. We'll tell you what's changing for the Fort Collins.
Also, sexual assault charges have been brought against a teacher and a police officer in Larimer County.
And a growing Fort Collins has plans to enhance parking and transportation.
All this and more starting now. Good evening, Rams. My name is Bella Walser.
And I'm Bailey Bokowsi, filling in for Karma Robbins tonight.
A longtime educator at Poudre School District was arrested following a third sexual assault allegation. 60-year-old Robert Denise now faces 4 assault charges on male students, which date back to the early 2000s. All of those who came forward against Denise were younger than 16 years old at the time these events occurred, and all attended Cache La Poudre Middle School. Denise currently faces 4 charges of sexual assault on a child in position of trust and is scheduled for a disposition hearing in District Court on December 15th.
Former Loveland officer Dylan Miller was arrested for the sexual assault of a teenager this past Monday. The incident was reported on October 23rd, in which Miller was placed on administrative leave shortly after. Miller was officially terminated from his position and charged with multiple felony and misdemeanor accounts, including first-degree kidnapping, sexual assault on a child by a position of trust, unlawful sexual conduct by a police officer, sexual assault, official oppression, and first-degree official misconduct. According to the Loveland Police Department, they believe that there could be more victims. Anyone with further information regarding this case is encouraged to contact the Larimer County Sheriff's Office at 970-416-1985.
A Fort Collins woman is sentenced to 10 years in prison for supplying fentanyl pills to another woman who overdosed last fall. Andrea Bronco is the first person to be sentenced under a new charge created by Colorado's Fentanyl Accountability Bill, which took effect in July 2022 in response to the growing number of fentanyl-related deaths. Statewide authorities arrested Bronco almost a week after 24-year-old Cara Gorman suffered an accidental overdose. Bronco later admitted to selling her 4 fentanyl pills and foil. She took accountability and expressed remorse, saying she was not a drug pusher profiting off the addiction of others. She was simply an addict myself, caught in a cycle of desperation where the difference between right and wrong became blurred. Since the introduction of the new bill, Larimer County law enforcement agencies received a substantial amount of resources for fentanyl investigations. District Attorney Gordon McLaughlin said the first sentence to hold people accountable proves these laws are a successful piece of combating the fentanyl epidemic.
The owners of the funeral home Return to Nature have been arrested after nearly 200 decaying bodies were found. John and Carrie Halford are facing 4 felonies. The charges are abuse of corpse, theft, money laundering, and forgery. The couple was arrested in Oklahoma on Wednesday evening with a bond set at $2 million. Governor Polis said in a statement that he was relieved that the couple has been arrested. The district attorney, Michael Allen, stated that the arrest papers are sealed to protect the investigation as the details of this case are shocking. Authorities are asking those who have worked with the funeral home to fill out an FBI questionnaire and email if you have any questions.
Voters across the country went to the polls to participate in this year's election this past Tuesday. But what exactly do the results mean for the Fort Collins area? Jenny Ardent will be mayor for a second term as she received more than 90% of the votes over write-in candidate Patricia Babbitt. Ardent's re-election means she could run one more time before being term limited. Mayor Ardent said a priority as mayor is investments in elections, so each voter receives a voter guide. As for city council members, voters picked one new member in District 4, Mulaney Padiandi, making all 3 council members and mayor in support of land use changes that allow for more density in the city. District 2 city council member Julie Pignataro and District 6 member Emily Francis were both re-elected. As for all of Colorado, citizens voted yes on a proposition that allows the state to use excess tax revenue from tobacco products on preschool programs. However, citizens did vote no on Proposition HH, which would have made changes to state property taxes.
And now for a short break.
When we return, we'll give you the weather forecast.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Good evening, Rams. My name is Elena Tran, and I'm filling in for Adam Carlson to bring you tonight's weather. Now, I hope you've all enjoyed your extra hour of sleep because daylight savings time just hit us this past weekend, meaning that we have earlier nights. All right, moving into current conditions, it is a nice cold 38 degrees, so make sure you stay bundled as we start getting up to cold and flu season. Now, earlier today, as you can see, it's getting a little chilly. Leaves are falling off of the trees. Wind is starting to blow around. So as you can see, it's time to stop the shorts and start putting on the jackets. Now, as we take a look into our overnight lows, we have our I-25 corridor starting at 27 degrees in Fort Collins. Brr, it's very cold. We're sitting in our upper 20s and lower 30s. Then coming over here to our Grand Junction, we're still going to be in those low 20s, and it looks like it's the same thing around Lemont and Burlington. All right, so will these temperatures continue tomorrow? Let's check it out. Looks like tomorrow's forecast is going to be a 53 degrees of a high, so it's still going to be very chilly, and at 27 degrees at low, so it's still very cold. Make sure that you stay warm out there, Rams. Looks like as we branch out and take a look at the 5-day forecast, we're going to start off our current week at a 59 degrees to 62, which means it's going to be very cold in the lower 60s. And as we move on to the rest of the week, we're going to start getting up into the higher 70s or higher 60s. So it's still going to be pretty cold out there, but as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit chillier the more we get. And that's all the weather in that we have for you all tonight. Back to Bailey and Bella.
Thank you, Elena. Parking and Transportation has announced the completion of the Transportation Demand Management Master Plan, which sets goals for the next decade. This plan focuses on enhancing transportation options for the campus community members. It's a year-long coordinated effort among the Parking and Transportation Service, other CSU departments, and city and regional stakeholders. The PTS communicated with over 3,000 members of the CSU and Fort Collins community. The goals for this plan include focusing on improving convenience, quality, safety, and reliable infrastructure. In fairness, this plan also aims to help CSU achieve a more balanced transportation mode that can help meet climate action goals, and ensure the campus is accessible to everyone. The plan is to be completed by 2024 after being reviewed by the Master Plan Committee.
The school year is flying by, and many are preparing to look for new living situations next year. Here's Karma to tell you about a new program through Housing and Dining's Aggie Village.
I'm Karma Robbins. Even though a new school year is a ways out, finding a new place to live may be a challenge for newer students. There are many different options in Fort Collins, including the Standard, the Stadium, Aggie Village, the State, and lots more. Living in an apartment can be fairly costly. However, Aggie Village has come up with an alternative for students who may not be able to afford a monthly rate. This new program, Lodge Pool, allows students to pay on a semester base and not charge for breaks throughout the year. This program can be great for out-of-staters or people who don't have a way to make a huge amount of money in order to pay rent monthly. I talked to one of the head leaders for the new program. Here is what she has to say.
I worked as the resident director of Aggie Village. I'm coming up on almost exactly 1 year now, overseeing this area. In Lodgepole, students can have a 9-month lease, and that means that they don't have to pay rent during the summer, so that's beneficial to students who want to go home, but that they're able to still renew and live here again next year. And in the other 2 buildings, it's a 12-month contract, meaning that students pay rent over the summer and they can live here during the summer.
For example, if you were to pay semesterly and live in a 4-bedroom apartment, you would be paying $3,713 per person, which is billed in advance at the beginning of each semester. If you were to multiply that by 2, by the end of the year, you'd be paying $7,426. If you were going to be living in a 4-bedroom apartment and pay on a monthly rate, say the rent was about $900 a month, you'd be living there for around 10 months. If you multiply 900 by 10, you get 9,000, which is what you'd be paying by the end of the year. In the long term, for semesterly versus monthly, you would be saving around $1,500 if you were to do the semesterly rate. Both of these are without any extra fees added. Why should students pick Aggie Village to live in?
Aggie provides a level of staff support that the off-campus apartments don't. Another big point, I think, is convenience, to be able to be so connected to campus really, really close by. So really that staff support, safety, and convenience.
Those who have questions about Aggie can contact Housing and Dining at 970-491-4719. Lodgeville may be one of the harder apartments to get next year since it is a cheaper option. Be sure to keep an eye out for when those applications open. While housing can be stressful, there are many resources out there that students can utilize to ensure they're set up for the best possible living situation.
The new program will be implemented for the 2024-2025 school year.
Fort Collins is ranked the 12th fastest growing city in America. According to the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, the population of Colorado will continue to increase until the year 2025. And Northern Colorado will be a top choice for new Coloradans. After examining the graphs, the department had predicted that by 2050, Colorado will have added almost 1.6 million new residents. As written in the K99 article, this number may be smaller or larger in the future, and that this is only a prediction.
So I feel like, I don't know if this is just in my head, but I feel like I've definitely noticed a lot more traffic in Fort Collins. It just seems like there's a lot of cars and a lot more backed up.
As someone who bikes everywhere, there's so many cars. It's a little overwhelming at times, 100%. Also, finding apartments recently has been a struggle. They're getting booked up so quickly and they're so expensive.
Yeah, that's so true. And even with like finding houses, it's all so hard right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and switch over to sports.
Here's Zoe Weir on an underrated college sport, soccer.
What's up, Fort Collins? My name is Zoe Weir, and welcome back to another week of CTV Sports. Have you ever wondered why CSU has so many intramural fields behind the rec center? Well, it's because of the committed community behind all IM sports. I had the privilege to go learn about what soccer looks like and the operations behind the game, including getting a fan's perspective and why they came out to watch.
How's it going, Ram fans? We are at an intramural soccer game with 3 fans, and they're going to be able to tell us a little bit about it.
All right, so here we're watching one of our friends play. He's on actually my men's team as well, so now we're watching him play the co-ed. The co-ed's a lot of fun too. It's split, so it's 4v4, 2 girls, 2 guys, and it's very inclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, and also my friend is playing now. I came here to support him so he can win the league, and also I have a game tomorrow. I hope I can win.
Hi, my name is Ronald Clemente. I'm a senior here at Colorado State. I do reffing and I also participate in indoor volleyball and soccer. As far as soccer goes, well, I've been doing it for 4 years. Lots of fun. You get to meet new people, interact with lots of new faces, and being a ref kind of helps, I guess, because then they kind of give you calls in your favor sometimes. But other than that, I mean, it's a great time. I highly recommend everyone get involved with CSU intramurals, and it's lots of fun. Like I said, you meet a lot of new people and you make friends for life.
What's your favorite memory in intramural soccer?
I think freshman or sophomore year, one of my teams made it to like the semifinals, and that was pretty fun. Basically, yeah, just making it far in the playoffs is the best thing. You get to compete against the best players, and yeah, it's lots of fun.
So cool to learn about a sport we don't usually talk about. The competitiveness and spirit honestly made the game feel like we could have been watching a high-level production of sports. And that is all the sporting news we have for now. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Zoe.
We're headed to break.
When we return, we'll get into a new presence on college campuses everywhere: artificial intelligence.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back, Rams. A little less than a year ago, ChatGPT was released. This led to the use of widespread artificial intelligence from social media to education. Now, Colorado State, along with many college campuses, are working to find a way to cautiously integrate and monitor artificial intelligence on campus.
I think it kind of exploded on the scene over the holiday break last year.
When ChatGPT became widespread on campus, CSU faculty didn't know how to navigate AI in education.
From its policy standpoint, it's just changing so rapidly, right? Institutions don't work that quickly.
With its constant change, it can be challenging for academic integrity.
And what we were hearing from our friends in the conduct office was that the current conduct code covers these kinds of behavior. It's just a matter of identifying it when it does happen. A lot of what we're doing right now is just trying to draw information for the students, build understanding, right, about what is okay and what's not okay.
With AI becoming so big, Brown sees ways it can be integrated in positive ways.
I'm interested in the ways that it can help students kind of do some of those, help them along with some of those pre-writing tasks that will then get them set up to do their best work.
However, this does come with the concern that students will lose creativity.
The importance of the work that we do here is about helping students develop through an authentic engagement with their learning. And, a program that can just generate an essay does a lot to disrupt that.
I headed to the LSC to see what students were thinking.
Do you ever use AI or ChatGPT on campus?
Mostly just as a grammar checker. That's really the extent with which I feel comfortable using it. Outside of that, it feels really sticky to me.
Sometimes, like when I'm writing essays or something, like I won't actually explicitly copy it down, but I'll use it for examples.
I use it to give me an outline of kind of how to start. But on campus, I haven't for school related stuff, but just mess around on I have, yeah.
A good rule of thumb to stay out of trouble is to always check with your professor.
There's a lot of confusion over when students can and cannot use this. And I think the most important thing I'd want students to know is unless your instructor has told you that you can use it, you should assume that you cannot.
CSU continues to work on finding the balance with AI in education.
So I think our faculty are really motivated to figure out a way of handling this issue that isn't, policing. We want to help teach you about how to use this, but also not fit you with permanent training wheels.
artificial intelligence is still new for most of us, so there is no telling where the future of AI in education will go.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight.
But don't go anywhere. Dakota, Kendall, and Tate Paisley have some furry friend stories to share with us.
Thank you, Bella. Have you seen adorable puppies walking around with bright yellow vests on campus? If so, then you're witnessing a service dog in training, led by student-led organization Collar Scholars.
So we were founded in 2016. There was a group of students and a puppy, and it just kind of grew from there into what it is today. So in that time, we've raised 49 puppies on campus. About half of them have graduated, and the club has kind of grown substantially. So we kind of have three roles within the club. So we have our puppy raisers, like myself. So these folks are primarily responsible for a dog for about 18 months. So you're financially responsible. The dog lives with you, you train it, all of that. So that kind of comes along through the other two processes. But then we have our puppy sitters, who are amazing, and we love them so much. And they can step in to take the dog for a few hours or overnight or something like that. And those folks become sitters, just attending meetings and training classes and stuff like that. And then general members can just come to any of our meetings.
Their admirable work is not just about training the puppies, but also making sure their handlers are well equipped and able to care for them to the best of their ability, whilst also educating the community about the importance of this organization.
There's so much misinformation about service dogs out there. With the internet, there's all these advertisements of you can just buy a vest and bring your dog anywhere, and like, that's truly not the case, right? Like, so much training goes into service dogs. I think this club started just for raising these dogs, and as it's grown, we have this responsibility to educate and advocate and all of that to allow the longevity of not only our club and our program, but also for service dog teams in general, and making sure they have safe and accessible access to campus.
Collar Scholars meets every Wednesday from 7 to 8 and will be hosting a holiday kissing booth and photo booth this season. You can find more information on their upcoming events on their website and Instagram.
We really encourage people to come and join the community because it's a really great network of people.
This organization truly has the best time training these puppies to become more confident and adaptive, while also breaking common misconceptions and stereotypes associated with service dogs and their handlers. So Tate, do you have any pets?
I do, actually. I have two lovely little dogs. One is a little fat potato that sits in the corner all lovingly, and the other is a mad little thing that runs around eating my shoes and breaking into my room. I did have a fish until about a month ago, but thank you for bringing that up.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
Speaking of such, as winter closes in, local animal shelters are in need of volunteers now more than ever. This opportunity not only allows students to contribute positively to the community, but also fosters a sense of compassion and responsibility towards our furry companions. As the winter months come rolling in, many pets and animals are put at risk thanks to the cold weather and snow. Fortunately, there are many organizations for community members and students to volunteer at to help these animals stay safe and find homes. One such organization is NoCo Humane.
It's really a wide range. I mean, we have parents working with their children, we have students, we have retired citizens. Really, it's just anybody in the community that has a passion for animals and wants to help their community and enrich lives.
Thanks to their recent brand change and expansion into new territories, NoCo Humane is in need of new volunteers to help care for and play with their sheltered animals in order to provide a happy and safe environment for animals and the people interested in adopting them.
Volunteers help in just about every single department we have. So you can help with things like animal care, which you're feeding and cleaning the animals' kennels. You can help in client services, where you're really working with the public. We also have our behavior and enrichment department, so dog walking, making enrichment items, just enriching the lives of the animals.
With many animals coming from difficult and abusive backgrounds, it's important for interested individuals to donate their time and help improve these animals' lives. With many shelters like NoCo Humane spotted around Larimer County, there are countless opportunities for passionate students to help these vulnerable animals.
And so I would just offer to people, find out what the need is in their community and balance that
with their passions and where they want to grow. But coming here and knowing that my work is going to directly benefit one of the animals downstairs is that's my motivation.
For people interested in helping these animals, NOCO Humane has open volunteering positions including foster care, active in-person volunteering services, and even single-day community service positions. This winter, it's a great opportunity to help out our furry friends. As we conclude, it is clear that NOCO Humane's dedication to the well-being of animals is supported by the vital role of volunteers. The shelter will continue to welcome those passionate about animal welfare, working to provide love and care to the many animals in need as the cold winter months roll in.
And that's the end of our news show.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week.